What made you want to create MDisk, Barry? Like, what was sort of the reason behind it?
Yeah, I love telling this story.
Uh,
2005, I was thinking about my pictures, and of course, if you back up about 30 years, people thought pictures were very, very valuable because you'd pay for the roll of film, you'd print them off, and you'd put them in a photo book. And people always said, if my house is on fire, the first thing I'm going to do is get my children out, and then number two, my photo albums, because they were very valuable. Well, that's how I felt about digital pictures when I first started getting them, and that was about 2005. And so I had a hard drive full of them, and I knew that hard drives are prone to catastrophic failure. And so I thought, okay, what should I back it up onto? I thought about optical discs. I knew that they didn't last a long time. I thought about flash drives. I knew they weren't permanent. And I thought about magnetic tape, and I didn't have really a good option there because getting into it, it's a bit on the expensive side. And I knew that there was nothing permanent. I thought, gee, if I care about storing my pictures for a long time, I'm sure I'm not the only person in the world who does. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a permanent digital data storage medium? So that's when I remembered, well, I've seen petroglyphs. I had taken my son and a bunch of other 16, 17-year-old scouts down to a place called 9 Mile Pass, about an hour and a half from where I live, to do some camping. And while there, we looked at some petroglyphs made by the Fremont Indians hundreds, perhaps thousands of years ago, still visible today. And I realized that they were made by a process different than what I understood. That is, they're etched. The outside layer of the rock is dark from the exposure to the weather for centuries and millennia. And then they just took some sharp object and etched away that top layer and exposed a light layer. And that's optical contrast. And I thought, well, that's how optical discs are made. You have light spots and dark spots. And then I thought, well, we could use an optical disc and put a rock-like media on it, dark, and then ablate it with a laser and have dark spots and light spots and record data permanently. And so I thought, wow, that's cool. So that's when I started visiting with my chemistry friend, Matt Lenford, and he and I said, yeah, we think this is worth researching. Let's do it. And then a couple of years later, we found a couple of the guys that were interested in starting a company, uh, Henry O'Connell and Doug Hansen, and that's when we started Millenniata. So that was about 2005, 2006 that we started the enterprise.
Coming into this like from the back end, like by the time I find about MDisk, the M in MDisk isn't around anymore. So I was like, I was confused. And how is this? I mean, I've since learned the answers to that question. So the company, as I understand it, the company itself didn't succeed, but the medium did. Is that a fair summary?
That is, yes. In the process of the many different things that the company tried in order to stay afloat, they licensed the production of the media to Verbatim, and Verbatim has continued to produce the MDisk. And so, as far as I'm aware, they're the only company that produces it today under license from the company Millenniata.
Gotcha. How is that different than um because my understanding is that the original company isn't around anymore. Is that not a correct understanding?
Yeah, that is correct. The company is not around anymore. It went into receivership a few years ago, and
Okay.
so we don't have any
So,
proceeds. But at the time, we were making the discs ourselves, and Verbatim was
ah,
also making them
okay, gotcha. Okay,
so
gotcha.
basically, they
And
have the IP to make the technology, right?
because we
And keep
licensed it to them. Right.